Hello, everyone. Today I have some different content for you. The TTS League for Marvel Crisis Protocol is in its last weeks for season 14. I'm interviewing the semifinalists to find out a little more about the players that have made it this far. Joining me today is Sooner. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, man. Really well. Summertime in Texas, which is super hot, which is not great, but outside of that, it's everything's cool.
Very cool. All right, well, we're going to get right into it here. How are you feeling coming off of your top 8 victory and being a semifinalist?
Yeah, it feels good. It's been a while since I didn't play last season, and then the season before I didn't make cuts. So, been a while since I've been kind of in this position. So it feels good. Had a really close game in top eight that kind of swung at the end in my favor. So it feels very good. Obviously we play these things to do well and win and have fun, and you can do both. It's super fun.
Yeah, that's right. The I personally get a lot of enjoyment out of the winning part of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we all do. Um, so, I mean, obviously, it's a competitive game, and this is a competitive league that we're playing in, the most competitive league. So, yeah, I mean, we're all trying to win, and so when you do win, it feels really good.
Yeah, that's right. It's really cool too because I like the league because it brings people in from all parts of the world that you would just never play against in real life, possibly ever, unless people like you just like I just can't see uh, very limited amount of circumstances in which people would cross oceans and get games with each other. Of course, like you had the chance to play Pat when he came to Adepticon. It's like that's like the rare exception when you'd be playing against people like you'd be playing a cut game against someone in real life. That's just crazy. It's just like the whole concept of it is very cool, and it's what drew me into the competitive scene to begin with. I was just like joining in season 7. I was just like, man, if I win this, I'm the greatest player alive. And of course,
Yeah.
yeah. So and but of course, um, that's a tough ask. So getting to top 4 is pretty cool. Any matches or opponents from this season that stick out in your mind? Any sort of games or highlights from this season in particular?
Yeah, man, I had a really good game in Swiss. I played this guy who counterpicked my team, played Kingpin of all games, and it was a super close game that came down to the end. His name is Lucas. Um, that
Sure,
was a lot
sure.
of fun.
Okay, but hold on.
Um,
Why but like it's just Kingpin. Like what's what why is that a problem? Why is that a problem for you?
it's a little bit of a problem because I can't move those potatoes. And so if I'm not killing those potatoes, it's very problematic.
You can like re-roll against most of that team, right? So you can just use the X-Force leadership to
Yeah.
like get that
So I
damage
mean,
through.
if I'm killing them, it's okay. But you're just at that point, obviously, you're relying on dice because a lot of teams, if I don't kill them, it's not the worst thing in the world because I can sit on the point and tie them. But obviously, that does not work against Kingpin. I sit on the point and lose to them because they count more. So, yeah, it's just a little more dice dependent than normal. But yeah, I mean, we certainly have models that can kill the normal Kingpin models. So it's an interesting game.
Yeah, it was. That was a lot of fun to play that. Cable was on fire.
He was, yeah. Cable was the man that day. It's funny. Some games Cable like does nothing. Like my last game in top eight, and I win because other characters do so much. But that game was the Cable game. He was amazing that game.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so looking ahead though, you've got some future opponents here. Geisman won his game; he's in the top 4, and you've got Schmid versus Nick and Curtis versus Azza. Uh, do you? I've got my question is, or my request is, you give a compliment to at least one of the players that you are potentially going up against. What do you think of these guys?
Sure. I've played Giesman about 5 or 6 times. He's a great player, and he has defenders down to a T. I give that guy super big props. I mean, I don't think he's played in a lot of leagues, but he has been grinding his ass off in games, and it obviously shows. He's playing some phenomenal MCP. He's always a fun one to match up against. Um, Curtis and Schmid, obviously they've been in the game for a while, so I know them for a while. I've only played Schmid once, and I've never played Curtis in an actual tournament format, so it would be fun, either of them. Nick, I played in ACO, and we had a Webb's mirror. I was very close game. Things kind of swung my way with some um, chances going my way, and I was able to get him there. But he's an exceptional player, and he's been playing webs really well. Don't know much about is it
Uh,
Aza or Aza? Yeah, he's from Australia.
yeah,
Don't know much about him. And
He's a
then
Malekith player, right? So he,
oh,
yeah,
nice.
he's been doing well with Malekith, which is pretty cool to see considering he was toned down and
It is cool.
yeah, he can definitely. Malekith gives you the ability to sometimes just win games, right? You just get that little bit of extra push on the dice, and all of a sudden your entire enemy team is just not even. They don't exist anymore. So
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. He can just delete models.
yeah, so that's yeah, lots of interesting games to be played this season still. So that's it's pretty cool. This season is coming shaping up to be really interesting, especially with the top 8 having like I think there were 7 different affiliations in the top 8 with only Hellfire being replicated once. So that's really cool to see.
It's
Um,
because they all ran into me.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're like the Hellfire Slayer. I think was that the top 32 and the top 16 were both Hellfire games, or
uh,
sorry, top
top
8.
top 16 and top 8
Yes,
games
yeah.
were,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay, yeah. So
Hmm.
that's yeah, you're it's interesting. Let's see if you end up getting matched up with Curtis if you are able to topple the Black King, right? He's the current Hellfire badge owner.
Yeah, I will say I think it's really cool. I mean, we don't know the all four semifinalists now, but we know the two of them are X-Force and Defenders. Like, think
That
about
is yeah.
a year ago saying top four in the TTS league is going to have Defenders and X-Force in it. Like, pretty wild.
That is actually crazy. That is, yeah. I'm just picturing back to when they didn't have Daredevil leadership, and before Cable and and Deadpool, for example, were like lifted up, and yeah, a
Sure.
lot of changes. It's quite the shakeup. Um, Okay, so anyway, I've got some questions just outside of the league here, but before I do that, for anyone listening or newer to MCP, I'm just gonna go over a couple of things that Sooner has done in the competitive scene here. He is the TTS Season 1 winner, NashCon 2021 runner-up, Lone Star 2023 runner-up, WTC player who went 5-0, and he won squad goals recently. I'm a big fan of just like keeping up with the lore and history of the game and like which players, which metas were dominant. It's just very interesting things. I just like reading about them and hearing about these stories. So just along with like how long you've been playing the game, I'm sure there's a few things that like stick out in your mind. Are there any games over the course of the your MCP history, or even just moments that like come to the top of your mind when you think back on all the things you've done?
Yeah, believe it or not, all the games that stick in the top of my head are not good, not wins. They're all when I had bad beats. So those are the type of games that really stand out in my head. Are the games that I lost on like, one die roll here or one die roll there. I just think back like, well, what could I have done different to make this one die roll not happen or something. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, TTS season one was a lot of fun. There weren't as many players back then, but it was quite the run. If not everybody may know, but some of these players, but I went through Travis Foss, Morgan Reed, and Sploosh all in the same uh, season. And so it was it ended up looking back as quite the accomplishment. At the time, we didn't really know what was happening, but
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. Winning NashCon. So I won NashCon last year.
Oh yes, I didn't. How
That,
did I miss that one? All right, so
yeah,
that's
you
bad. I
forgot one
can.
of the bigger
There we go.
ones.
Oops,
Yeah.
oops. Yeah.
So yeah, so I won NashCon last year, which was obviously it's always good when you win like 50 or 60 person event, always feels really good. That's kind of the pinnacle besides maybe like LVO Invitational or WTC. A 50 or 60 person event's kind of the top of the line for us. So it
Yeah.
always feels real good to win something like that.
Yeah, as that when you said that like the ones that like are scarred in your brain are like the losses, I can relate to that. I think that just the
Yes.
competitive drive to just like you just have you put in the work and then it creates this expectation of results. And then so the ones that are off the mark are the ones that just like are they they like are like stored in a certain section of the brain and they just like don't go away. It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
drive to win is just like crazy sometimes.
it's true. I still remember to this day, I think it was season four, season five, the game to get into cuts. It was last activation of the game. I had a Taskmaster shield throw into Enchantress um, who was incinerated. So she was rolling one dice. She had one damage left. And Taskmaster, if he does one damage, I win the game. And he blanked out. And I was like, oh, you gotta be
Oh
kidding me.
no.
And I missed cuts that season. And I was like, wow. So that stuff like that is what's really scarred in my brain.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I think that the fact that the game is so has that part of randomness in it too means that like you can do everything right to give yourself the best percentage chance, but then ultimately you might hit that 15 percenter and it just like doesn't
Yeah.
convert, or like the 85 percenter and it just doesn't convert for your in you. So it's very interesting game that we've kind of we are engaging in here. Um,
Nope.
you have been playing this game for a hot minute. What keeps you playing MCP?
Yeah, I've been playing for, gosh, how long? Started about 6 months after the game released. So I want to say it's about 4 years or so, but give or take. I just really enjoy the game. I enjoy miniatures games. I when I grew up, I played a lot of sports. I didn't play any miniatures games or even a lot of board games or anything like that, but I played a lot of sports. And so I have a lot of like competitive drive in me, competitiveness in me. And as I have gotten older and I can't play sports anymore, really, I found miniatures games and kind of the competitiveness and the skill. I love like strategy based computer games, and so that all kind of just morphed together, kind of adding that aspect and then adding my competitiveness. I found competitive gaming, and I just really enjoy it. I enjoy the games. I'm a big Marvel fan, so in this game, it itches that for me, and it's been a lot of fun. I have played a lot of the miniature gaming or game systems out there, and Marvel's just kind of my favorite. Um, I take breaks, so I haven't just played like all the way through 4 years. I go on times where I take breaks and I don't play as much. And then stuff happens and I get back into it.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the in real life conventions and trying to go to those conventions and win them. So I usually will ramp up when conventions are coming around. But yeah, I mean, I've obviously gotten to know the community because I've been in here for so long, and I have a ton of great friends now in the community, and that's another thing that drives me. Having those friends around and talking to them constantly. I mean, I talk to people in the MCP community daily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just those things are what really drives me to keep going and obviously keep winning. I'm not getting any younger to play any sports, so I might as well do it on the competitive gaming aspect.
Yeah, I can relate to that really a lot as well. I played just even just playing house league hockey and soccer in just up here in Canada during the winter and the summer. It was that it created that competitive drive in me. Plus, my dad would just beat me in every board game that we owned as a kid growing up, and so of course, I'm passing that tradition on to my children as much as I possibly can. So
Absolutely.
yeah. The okay, so you are a member of the Gamers Guild, and you can be heard on many of their podcast episodes. And so recently, you did an X Force deep dive, which is the affiliation you brought into season 14. Do you have? I know you did a so you did a whole episode on that. Do you have a couple of tips that you can share about X Force, and has your roster changed in the last month or two, like leading up to like the lock in for the eliminations of this season?
Yeah, my roster has been pretty solid for the last month or two. I haven't changed. There for a while, I was running a few models. I was running Electra. I took her out. I tried running Ant-Man for a second, took him out, and it's been pretty solid with the roster that I have now for a while. Yeah, I mean, X-Force is a lot of fun. They roll dice and they roll really good dice, which is obviously fun in this game. Killing stuff, which they are very good at, is obviously very fun in this game. I think they can be a pretty big challenge, which is why they don't have the best win-loss all the time on Longshanks, because they don't have much of a plan B. But I think you just got to really leverage being in the right position and you know using efficiency the best you can, getting in and out of threat ranges of your opponents, and really kind of doing that, no pun intended, cat and mousing. Um, and if you can do that and do it efficiently, they're very tough squad to deal with. Also, I think picking the right squad and then deploying the right area with cat and mouse is also very important.
Right, yeah. I've seen so I've casted and streamed a few of your games, and in particular I'm thinking of the one you played against Jacob Deaton's Web Warriors on a D shape, and things didn't end up going your way in that match, but just like it was really cool to see the positioning and decisions. You were taking actions that would lead you to have a successful next round, and so it's really cool to watch. So if you want to watch more of Sooners games playing X Force, there's a few on my YouTube channel. Um, so do you have any interests outside of MCP? And do those interests, or can they connect with MCP in any way, or do they offer a unique lens in which you view the game?
I mean, like I said, I came from sports, so like I see the competitive aspect a lot. I really understand and get that. Um, outside of the game, I have two young kids, so I am, a dad most of the time. And other than that, I mean, not a lot. I play computer games. I play some PlayStation 5 games like NCAA football just launched, and I play that.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's really it. I mean, I don't do much. I used to play a lot of golf. I was a big golfer and played a lot of golf, but since I have two young kids, the last couple of years I have been golfing much less. So most of my weekend is, devoted to them and hanging out with them. And so, yeah, I mean, that's about it. Being a family man and trying to win MCP. That's most of it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. So yeah, that's good. All right, I got a fun little game here we can play. It's a this or that type of game. I've got two different things in MCP, typically characters in this list, and you're gonna pick and choose which ones as we go through this really pretty quickly.
Okay.
All right, so I have Iron Fist or Luke Cage. What do you think?
So am I real quick? Am I picking who I want in MCP the most, or who do I like as just a Marvel
I
character?
think this is MCP. I think we're here for the MCP content, so this is all MCP related
Okay,
questions.
Cage for sure.
Okay,
He's
so
my most played model in the game ever.
that's that's right because you had run Sam Avengers in earlier
Yes.
seasons, and you played Defenders before Daredevil, and he was in your list then. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty fair. Ant Man or Wasp?
Ant-Man.
Okay, I don't play either of these characters very much. What makes you pick Ant Man?
I love his range three place. That's really the big thing. I know Wasp can move long when she's tiny, but that range three place is just fantastic on Ant-Man.
Right, very fair. He's one of the few or three threat characters that have a six dice builder, which is, yeah, it's rare. So he can punch pretty hard if he's put in the right spots. All right, the next one I have is Gambit or Clea.
Gambit all the way.
Okay, all right, why is that?
I don't I actually think that Gambit is a lot better than Clea. I'm not just saying that. Because I think Gambit on a E shape can do some serious damage. Whereas Clea I don't think really does anything in this game.
I mean, she rolls skulls and dies. We've seen
Exactly.
that
Like
before, right?
Clea's
So
Yeah, Clea is pretty awful. Gambit can at least provide you if he doesn't just die, Gambit can at least provide you with some really good offense.
yeah, that's right. You can have that miracle turn where he just like board wipes
Oh yeah,
a
his
squad on
beam.
Gamma or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I've
You need
got
like 7 power, but it can happen.
yeah. I have Shadowcat or Quicksilver.
Oh, Quicksilver.
Yeah. The is it the asset steal? The what like what's the
I haven't played much of Shadowcat. She's awesome, and I'm sure she's probably overall better. But I played Quicksilver a lot for WTC and Inhumans, and he's just a really fun character. He gets a steal on the asset, and so and he's kind of hard to take down. He moves really fast. So yeah, I'm a Quicksilver fan.
nice. All right, I got another one that's definitely sooner themed here. Black Bolt or Cable.
Oh, my boy Cable all the way. So it's funny when the changes were just released, I thought Black Bolt was better than Cable.
Yeah.
And if you were to ask me now, definitely I think Cable's better. Although Black Bolt Black Bolt's spender is just a win the game button sometimes. And so Black Bolt is pretty nasty. I would just vote Cable mainly because of the throw, is the extra damage, and then the mobility. That's
Right.
why.
Yeah. I can definitely see that argument there. All right, so Bishop or Blade?
Bishop. I hate with a wild passion the overload superpower, but I think that Bishop is probably at this point a better character than Blade. I
Okay.
think at least I don't think Bishop has as many weaknesses as Blade. I think Blade is really good in the right situation, but he doesn't have as much weaknesses.
Yeah. All right. We have Namor or King T'Challa.
I have not played Namor yet, so I'm gonna go with my boy King T'Challa, and plus I love Black Panther, so yeah, I'm gonna go with T'Challa. He's fun, hits hard, moves fast. So does Namor, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm gonna go with T'Challa.
Nice. I got a couple more here. All right. Cat and Mouse or Sacrifice.
Oh, this is the hardest one.
Good. Wait for the next
Cat and
one.
mouse.
All right.
Cat and mouse for
Yeah.
sure. Cat and mouse. Cat and mouse is such because I'll tell you what cat and mouse does real quick. It creates a problem for the opponent on picking up extracts. And so I'm gonna go cat and mouse.
Okay. Yeah. I've dealt with that pressure before, and it is immense. All right. I got the last one here. Right. Josh or Matthew.
Oh gosh. I'm going to say Matthew because Josh always tries to somehow get out of our practice games and playing each other, where Matthew will play me a lot more. So I'm gonna go with Matthew.
All right, all right. It's a bummer for Josh. Okay, all
But
right.
I love them both. I
Yes,
love them
of
both.
course. They're both your co-hosts on the Gamers Guild, so
Yes,
they're both great guys. All
they
right,
are.
all right. One. Okay, so I have my final question of all of my my questions I had here. Are you right-footed or left-footed?
I am, it's funny. I was talking with my wife about this at dinner, because our son was like doing stuff left-handed, and she's saying he's kind of ambidextrous. And we were talking about it. I am right hand dominant. I do stuff right footed and right handed way better than I do it left handed.
Nice, nice. Okay. All right. That's all my questions. So yeah, you are a semifinalist in this in the TTS League Season 14 out of 288 people signed up for the main main Swiss rounds to qualify for this event. And so of the 288 people, there's only going to be four remaining, which you are one of them. Congratulations for making this far. Are there any other thoughts or things you would like to share?
No, I appreciate the kind words. I think everybody, follow, smash the like button, whatever for Lucas. He is amazing for this community. I mean, the guy works his ass off, streaming games, making sure content's out there. He's a huge part of the success of the TTS League and bringing it to everybody. So, and just appreciate it a ton. You're awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to play games with you. Pleasure to be able to bounce ideas off of, and thank you for taking the interview. And we'll catch you maybe in a future stream. So good luck in the last couple rounds of the league. I'll catch
Thank you
you
so
next
much.
time.
Absolutely.